DorkLair.
Welcome to another DorkLair action figure review. Today I'm taking a look at the Hot Toys Mandalorian. This is my first Hot Toys review. I have done a couple 6-scale figures. I've done a couple of the Mondo Masters of the Universe figures on the channel. I do have a few other Hot Toys, but this is actually I'm pretty sure this is the very first Hot Toys I've reviewed. I did pick up a couple sort of late last year, early this year, and sort of like thought about reviewing them, but they just kind of got lost in the mix. But so I'm not a Hot Toys reviewer. So if you're coming here as somebody who watches a lot of Hot Toys reviews and you have certain expectations, I don't really know what kinds of expectations people have for Hot Toys reviews. I know Hot Toys collectors tend to be a lot more sort of interested in super accuracy and stuff like that, and I don't really pay that much attention to like the hyper detailed things. So I might miss a few little nitpicks there, here and there. But for the most part, this seems to be one of those figures that a lot of people are picking up as their first Hot Toy, especially a lot of the DorkLair audience are really looking at this figure quite a bit and sort of wondering if they should pick it up. And really, I pretty much would say, yeah, grab it. It's awesome. I love this thing. It's expensive, and it does feel a little light on the accessories, especially in the hands. No wired cape. I would have liked that. And a few other little things, but for the most part, man, this figure rock. It just looks awesome. Just look at that thing. Even the cape is fantastic. The rifles, the accessories, everything looks really good on this figure as far as I'm concerned. I do wish the articulation was slightly better, but very cool. I don't get many Hot Toys, so this is a very special kind of a treat for me. So let's get into this review. First up, a look at the packaging, and I'm doing a pan here because I'm not set up to do 6-scale packaging reviews, and so it's kind of hard to fit it all in and not have peripheral junk in the shot. But great looking box. It's got this like overlay wraparound piece right here. Of course, like all Hot Toys do, you have all sort of like the information and credits and all that stuff on the back over here. This is TMS007 Television Masterpiece number 7. I don't know what the first 6 are, but I don't pay attention a ton to Hot Toys. And then on this side, the wraparound piece has the figure itself right there. So pretty great looking box. When you open it up, there's just this beautiful art print right there. That is so nice. I actually kind of want to frame that thing. It's really cool. And of course, once you open it up, it's just trays of, of all the stuff. Not much to look at there. All right, let's take a look at the details on this figure. Helmet is awesome. I love that metallic paint, and it's got some weathering, and the shape of it looks great. Size looks pretty good to me. I know we've had some issues with some smaller looking heads on the Figuarts, but that looks good. Same kind of paint work going on the one of the 2 pauldrons. So he's got the episode 2-3 Beskar pauldron, and then he also comes with the Shore Trooper pauldron, which I'll show you in a minute. Great looking helmet. The cape looks awesome. It's nice and like soft, and it drapes nicely, and it kind of feels like it scales really well, this type of fabric. I do sort of wish it had a wire or a couple wires for posing, because I'm that kind of guy that likes to like pose stuff and take photos and whatnot. But quite frankly, I don't do that a lot with my Hot Toys, so having just a hanging cape is fine. But I do really like the Boba Fett figure with that wired cape. But I think the cape looks great. And then all the weathering and the armor and the pauldrons and gauntlets, all sorts of metallic chips and carbon scoring, and you have the little canisters, the Tabana canisters, like all throughout his costume. He's got some over here. He's even got some down here, and most of them you can remove. Some of them might be kind of stuck in there, but like, yeah, you could pull those right out. I kind of wonder if they're going to have a Tabana plotline in season 2, where he like runs out of Tabana to charge his rifle and has to go to like Cloud City or something. I think that'd be kind of cool. Lots of little leather bits throughout. We have the strap here. It's probably like a vinyl piece, but you know, it looks really nice. Looks very leathery, kind of authentic looking. Another piece here. And then over here we have the grav charges. One of them is removable, And so he can take this one and slap it on the wall and blow a hole in the wall and save the child. And then it pops in. The other two I don't think are removable. I couldn't get those out. Fabric has a lot of different like consistencies. We have this piece here with sort of like a, I guess, let's see if you can see it right here. Almost like a woven pattern, like a quilted pattern there. And then he's got more sort of quilted parts down in here. Nice like canvasy materials, nice and soft materials. So as you move him, his legs, you know, it moves pretty well. But yeah, like overall, here's the back. Overall, I think the figure looks fantastic. And I do have some issues where I wish it was better articulated and stuff. Quick look at the boots. Look at that. It looks so realistic. This is awesome. This is what Hot Toys are all about. So cool. But yeah, so I think it's a great looking figure. I'm sure there are some inaccuracies that maybe I'm not picking up on because I'm just not that kind of diehard collector. And so yeah, like, I'm sure there's a few things there, but overall I think it looks fantastic. Okay, let's see how Mando looks next to a few other 6-scaled figures. Here he is next to the Hot Toys First Order Stormtrooper, the Jakku variant, and then next to the Deluxe Boba Fett. And then here he is next to the Mando Skeletor and the QMX Jean-Luc Picard. And these are really all I have for different lines of 6-scale figures, so that's it for comparisons. Now getting a look at the accessories, he does come with his rifle. And it's got like score marks over here on the end. Like it's shot off a few electric blasts. But yeah, it's a pretty good looking piece. It's got this strap, and then you can take it and throw it over his shoulder, pegging it in right here. And then you can pull this little piece through the cape and latch it around the rifle. And that's a little magnet right there. And so he can wear his rifle like this. It looks pretty good. Next up is his pistol. I think it's painted really well. Again, I'm not seasoned in how good, you know, the subtleties of what makes a good Hot Toys paint job or not, but to my eye, my untrained eye, this looks awesome. You got a little silver here. The handle is painted in a wood brown color, and you have gunmetal throughout and a few little tiny details. Some silver here, and then like a yellowish going on in there. Same yellowish right there too. And of course he's got his holster right over here, and it's just a little slip through strap, and you can throw the pistol right in the holster and then slide it through the little straps. So that looks pretty good as well. The pauldron is super easy. Just pop it off. It's Velcro, and then you can put the other pauldron on there. He comes with an electric blast effect so that you can sort of wrap it around the tip of the rifle. And I'm not sure if I'm doing it right, but you can just slide that into the rifle, and you can have an effect that it's like blasting out his energy blast. Speaking of which, by the way, this little strap will peg out of the rifle if you want to pose him without the strap. For hands, he comes with a pair of fists, the ones I have on there. And then he's got a pair of trigger finger hands so that he can wield the weapons. And then he's got a pair of just kind of like grasping hands. You know, you could use it to cradle the barrel of the rifle. And then he also has the tracking fob. Still want to know how that works. And then the tracking fob can kind of fit in the hand, but it doesn't fit the way I would want it. Like I would want him holding the fob like this, and it's just too sort of open of a hand for that. And last but not least, we have his stand. It's the Sandy stand with the footprints that we've seen on a few figures, but it's got some holes so that you can put these pikes in there. And a real highlight of the whole display setup for setting up your Mando is this decapitated Stormtrooper helmet with a little bit of a dangly piece of fabric there. And that's got some really cool details. That's a nice piece. And it's kind of just, you know, it makes it feel slightly more deluxe to have a display piece that's more than just one of those black stands. So that looks pretty good, and throw them on the stand. And yeah, looks pretty cool on that stand. I like it. Finally, what I would consider probably the weakest aspect of the figure, beyond the fact that he only has a couple hands, is the articulation. Now the head moves really well. Like he can look up, he can look down. You know, there's a lot of movement in that neck in terms of the head. So a lot of great motion in the head. But there's a suit underneath. And I've seen some people, take the figure apart, remove the suit underneath, and then put the oversuit back on, bringing in just a ton of range of motion there. I probably won't do that to mine because like the main pose that I would do that for would be him holding the rifle and aiming it, like holding it up to his shoulder and aiming it. And I don't think I would have him in my display case like that because this thing's long and it's like a lot of horizontal space to take up to put him in that pose. And I just don't have that much space. But going back into the figure's articulation, if you remove the pauldron, we can get a better sense of the range here. So his arm can come up. And again, the suit underneath is kind of pulling him down a little bit. And then we could pop that pauldron right back on there. So that's a nice feature. When the pauldron removes, you can articulate it a little bit. He can swing his arm forward, and then he can swing it back, about that far back. There's definitely a twist at the top of the shoulder there. He does have double jointed elbows, and he can swing up that far. If you mess around with that gauntlet, you can get him a little better. I can give you a look at the ball joint in the hand, and it does come with an extra pair of those pegs. So it's one of those kinds of ball swivel type pegs there. And there is a good amount of butterfly joint in the shoulders as well. Not a ton of motion in the chest. You can crunch him back about this far, and then he can crunch forward a little bit. Of course, he can twist as well. But again, there's so much suit under there that it's kind of hard to get him to stay in a pose. If you remove that suit, I'm sure it would work a lot better. He can kick his leg about that far forward. You can twist at the top of the thigh. Double jointed knees. There's a little ratcheting going on. I can feel it in the knees there. But his double jointed knees come up this high. You can twist the boot, and he's got a decent ankle rocker, actually, for those nice wide stances. And he can go out about that far into a wider stance. So, pretty good leg articulation. It's just mostly up in the arms, particularly up here, and then in the chest over here, where he's fairly limited. I wish he had some more range there. But anyway, I apologize for, if I missed anything or kind of didn't meet the expectations of the Hot Toys aficionados, because I am just a casual collector when it comes to the Hot Toys. Mostly, this is a review to suggest, for those of you who are kind of thinking, oh, maybe I'll get this as my first Hot Toy, as long as you don't expect to be like mad posing it and taking tons of photos and crazy super dynamic poses, then this is just an awesome figure, and I highly recommend it. It just looks so good. It's like, I don't know, Mando is just killing it, and I'm super hyped up for the show, and I can't wait for season 2, which is a week away. Anyway, thanks for watching my video, and until next time, may the Force be with you.
Follow me into